The sky changes before the ground can follow. Dark clouds gather like a silent army. Wind drops the temperature and carries the rare scent of moisture. On the savannah, rain is hope. But hope can last only minutes. The first drops strike dry grass. Dust settles. Air softens. Across the plain, animals lift their heads as if listening to a promise. A few antelope cut through open ground, as if trying to meet the rain first. Far off, thunder rolls, yet thunder doesn't always bring water behind it. Zuri stands beneath a thin canopy of thorn. A drop lands on her nose. She licks it, tasting the possibility of a new season. But Zuri doesn't live on illusions. A brief shower will not rescue a long drought. The only thing that can carry Mavuno through is position, where water holds longest, where prey will return, and where cubs can survive. Mavuno moves as the rain fades, not running, marching with purpose. The lionesses spread in a fan. Zuri holds the center, setting a pace the cubs can follow. Together, they flow across the grass like a living current of gold and dust. On the savannah, movement is also a declaration. They angle toward lower ground, places that hold moisture longer, old drainage lines, shallow basins where green returns first. Zuri chooses the heart of the land, not from greed, but because it is where life lingers when the rest dries out. Farther out, Kaya feels the rain too. But for Kaya, rain does not mean safety. It scrambles scent. It erases tracks faster than she can read them. And it makes an already hard education even harder. Kaya moves through wet grass with an empty belly. She stops often. She breathes heavy, then pushes on. Hunger doesn't only weaken muscle, it weakens patience. And when patience breaks, mistakes appear. Kaya sees a herd in the distance, not impossibly far. But the open ground between them is too exposed. There is no thick cover to hide her shape. No partner to distract the herd. A sprint here could bring only exhaustion, and exhaustion can bring death. She lies flat, pressing her body into the earth. She waits. She listens for the wind to turn. She watches the herd's ears, looking for the moment their attention drifts. Time stretches. And hunger presses like a needle under the skin. At last, Kaya abandons the larger target. She turns to what a young lion can actually take. A small movement in the grass, a quick rustle near the edge of cover, a flicker of life that a big herd would never notice. Kaya drops lower. She steps in slow, careful increments. She keeps her head level with the grass, letting her outline dissolve. She eats quickly, as if afraid the world will snatch it away. It isn't a triumph. just a small meal. But for Kaya, it is a milestone, proof that she can still save herself, at least for one more day. In the wild, one more day can be everything. One more day for muscle to strengthen. One more day for reflexes to sharpen. One more day to learn how to read wind and read silence. Across the plain, Mavuno presses deeper. Zuri leads them into a zone marked by heavy traffic, fresh tracks, new droppings, crossing trails like a woven net. All of it says the same thing. Life is concentrating here. And where life concentrates, competition follows. Zuri doesn't rush a hunt. She lets the pride settle. She keeps the cubs tight to the center. She watches like a gatekeeper. Because in the dry season, losing a cub is not only losing a life, it is losing a piece of the future. And that future belongs to more than Mavuno. Every cub that reaches adulthood is a thread in the larger fabric of the ecosystem. When populations stay healthy, the land can balance itself more easily. When water and movement corridors remain, pressure drops. And when pressure drops, deadly encounters become less frequent. Protecting wildlife is not only protecting a single species. It is protecting the living space that keeps animals from being forced into a corner. Keeping landscapes connected. Keeping key water sources alive. Keeping the savanna wide enough for natural rules to function the way they were meant to. Night falls. The rain is gone. The sky opens, thick with stars. Zuri lies at the center of Mavuno, silent but alert. Far away, Kaya lies alone, her belly no longer empty. Both have crossed a turning point. One has found a position to hold power. The other has found proof that she can keep going. And on the savanna, keeping going is where every story begins. The dry season pulls life closer together. Not because anyone wants it, because they must. As water and prey concentrate, borders sharpen. And one wrong step can become a death sentence. Kaya catches the scent of damp earth from a low-lying patch ahead. Not the smell of a river. Just soil that still holds a little water after the rain. For Kaya, it is a call she cannot ignore. She moves slowly, keeping to the edge of tall grass, trying to remain a shadow. But she isn't the only one reading the land. The Mavuno pride is close. And where Mavuno is close, Zuri controls the rhythm of the ground. At the edge of an open clearing, Kaya stops, ears up, eyes sweeping. The air carries lion scent, not old, fresh, warm, recent. Kaya knows what that means. She is standing on the rim of another pride's world. From the brush, a lioness steps into view, full grown. Solid, eyes that don't blink. Then another, and another. Mavuno emerges without needing to roar. Their strength is in their number, in their calm certainty, in the quiet way they already own this space. Kaya holds still. That is the right instinct. A young lion that bolts too fast can trigger pursuit. She drops her body low, angles her head slightly, making herself smaller. She isn't challenging them. She is asking to pass through. Zuri looks at Kaya. There is no curiosity in Zuri's gaze. There is calculation. A strange youngster can bring trouble. It can draw competition. It can drain resources during a hard season. And Zuri cannot afford hesitation now. Zuri takes one step forward. Just one. But the ground seems to change ownership. A low roar rolls out, short, controlled, not for show. Only enough to rewrite the air. This is Mavuno territory, and this is a boundary Kaya cannot cross. Kaya swallows. She backs away, one step at a time. Not turning too fast. Not jerking into panic. Just retreating, erasing herself from the map. When the distance is safe, Kaya turns. She circles wide, keeping to a thin line of trees, searching for another route. She loses the water. She loses the chance at prey in the clearing. But she keeps the only thing that matters more, her life. On the savannah, it is a lesson in the language of power. Power does not always need violence. Sometimes it is only presence. A step forward, a single roar, an unyielding stare. For Zuri, driving Kaya away is protection. Protection for Mavuno, for her cubs, for the food and water the pride will need. For Kaya, retreat is not weakness, it is intelligence. Knowing when she is not yet strong enough to exist here. But the encounter leaves a mark. Kaya understands the savannah holds few empty places for a lone lion. Zuri understands the dry season is forcing life into unavoidable hotspots. When the land is squeezed, encounters become more frequent. Not because nature grows crueler, but because choices become fewer. Keeping the savannah wide, keeping water points functioning, keeping movement corridors open, is how these moments become less deadly. It is how a lion like Kaya is not pushed forever to the edge, and how a pride like Mavuno is not forced into harsher decisions just to survive. Kaya dissolves into tall grass. Zuri turns back to her pride. The meeting ends in silence. But the savannah has written one more line into its law. The Mavuno pride does not build a dynasty on luck. They build it on rhythm, on regular patrols, on keeping cubs at the center, and on always knowing where the land can feed them for one more week. Zuri leads her pride along the edge of short grass. She stops on low rises and looks far ahead, Out here, even looking is an act. It helps her read where prey has shifted. It tells her which ground has been traveled too hard. It keeps her away from open spaces where a hunt becomes waste. But no matter how skilled Zuri is, she cannot control one thing: the health of the land itself. If water fails too early, prey will move. If prey moves, lions go hungry. And when that happens, power becomes only a shadow. Farther out, Kaya is changing too. She is no longer only a thin shape pressed into grass. Small meals keep strength in her body. Failures teach patience. Close calls teach her that silence can be armor. Kaya begins to move like a survivor. Drink fast, leave fast. Follow shade when the sun climbs. Rest when the heat is at its worst. Travel when dusk lets her coat blend into the grass. But the longer she lasts, the more she meets a new limit. A young lion can feed herself for a while, but to truly grow up, she needs more than a meal. She needs room to become. She needs safer hunting ground. She needs a gap in the map that isn't constantly closed by stronger lions. And that is where Kaya's story connects to a larger truth. Today, wild country faces more than drought. It faces shrinking space, grasslands broken into smaller pieces, water points under heavier pressure, movement corridors narrowed, sometimes cut. When wild land is divided, natural law grows harsher. Not because animals change, because options disappear. Less water means more encounters. Less space means more conflict. And when conflict rises, the weakest pay first. Protecting wildlife, then, is not only protecting a lion. It is protecting the system that allows lions to be lions. Keeping landscapes connected so prey can move. Keeping key water sources functioning through dry seasons. Managing edge zones so people and wildlife are not pushed into the same narrow space. Zuri can hold a crown through strength. But that crown exists only if the savanna can still feed Mavuno. Kaya can survive through intelligence. But her future depends on whether there is still room for a young lion to grow, without being driven into a corner. Night settles. Mavuno lies close together under the stars. A low roar travels outward, a quiet claim of ownership. Far away, Kaya lies alone. No answering voice. But something else is growing in her: endurance. And on the savanna, endurance is not only the trait of the powerful. Sometimes it is the only thing that keeps a story alive. Dawn returns, a reminder that the savanna never pauses for anyone. Light spills across the grass, fading the footprints of the night. But the choices remain. The borders remain. And the stories continue. Zuri stands on a low rise, looking out across the land of the Mavuno pride. Wind moves through the fur at her neck, carrying the scent of dust and grass. She wears no crown, but she holds what every predator needs: space, water, and a pride strong enough to outlast the dry season. Farther out, Kaya walks alone into the new light. Her shadow stretches across the grass, thin, but no longer as fragile as before. Every step is a small victory over hunger, fear, and isolation. She still has no territory. But she has earned the right to imagine a future where she belongs. On the savannah, power always changes hands. But if the land remains alive, the future still has a chance. Keeping wild places wide, connected and resilient is how prides like Mavuno endure, and how small shadows like Kaya can grow into the kingdom's next chapter.